I will say one word and everyone is going to go crazy. Palm oil. I know, we have heard of palm oil as if it's complete poison. But let's be honest, you can love it, you can hate it. But the amount of things that it is added into, you cannot escape from it. So in today's video, I'm going to bring you some very simple to understand science about palm oil so that you can make an informed decision rather than living in fear that social media has created. Now before we understand why palm oil is good or bad, let's start with the story of where palm oil exactly started. In the last 50 years, with the rise of industrialization, more and more people are joining the workforces, and that's the reason why more and more people are busy. That's the reason why more and more people need to rely on convenience foods which are easily available, easy to procure, easy to buy and easy to eat. Now till the early 90s, margarine is the fat which was mostly used in all of the convenience foods to create that creaminess, increase the shelf life, increase the taste and palate profile. Now comes the science part. Now this margarine is made with vegetable oil, and because vegetable oil doesn't provide that creaminess that animal fats can give because of the saturated and unsaturated structures of animal fat and plant fats respectively. Plus, to provide these qualities to all of the foods for all of the population, a lot of animals would have been killed. That's the reason why vegetable oils were hydrogenated, which means hydrogen is added into the unsaturated structures, and that's how vegetable oil was converted to margarine and was used in cosmetics and food products. But then started the researches on margarine and trans fat, and it was found that trans fat can actually cause heart diseases, it can cause cancers and a lot of other bad things, and that's the reason why it was required to create another alternative for margarine. The food scientists were trying to find out an oil which provides the creaminess of animal fat without killing so many animals. And you know where they found it? They found it in the palm tree. You know palm tree, right? This one. Now this tree has fruits like this, and these fruits, the pulp of that and the seed of these is used to create oil which is called palm oil. Oil from the seed of this is called palm kernel oil, and oil from the pulp of this is called just palm oil. Now palm oil in the chemical structure is a lot like our desi ghee, which means that both have saturated fatty acids. And just like desi ghee, palm oil also has a lot of controversy around whether it is very good for our body or it causes cardiovascular diseases like heart attack. The reason why everyone is after the life of saturated fats is because they are supposed to increase the level of cholesterol in our body. But there have been researches which also suggest that palm oil specifically, because it is from a plant source and not an animal source, it does not hamper our cholesterol levels as much. However, there are certain other researches which say that because it is saturated fat, it is bad for the heart. Now, while researching for this topic, I came across two very important pieces of information which are here, and if you want, in fact, I would highly recommend that you go and watch these, and I will also link them in the description box so that you can do your own research, which I highly recommend. But for your easy reference, I am going to talk about the nutrition profile of the palm oil, the processing of the palm oil, where exactly it is used and why exactly it is called harmful. Apart from that, why exactly it is the choice of material for so many food products and the cosmetic products. And in the end, we are going to summate all of this so that you can make a decision for yourself whether you want to consume palm oil or not. So let's first talk about the nutritional profile of palm oil. The fruit of palm tree is this deep red in color, and inside it is yellow, and these two colors are associated with beta carotene, which is vitamin A. And since the pulp is 30 to 35% oil, that also is a very rich source of vitamin E. Apart from that, I am going to give you a thumb rule. Whenever a natural food is very rich in deep colors, it is also a very rich source of antioxidants. And similarly, palm oil or palm fruit is also a very rich source of coenzyme 10, squalene and many other antioxidants as well. Apart from this, palm oil is also a very rich source of linoleic acid, which also is used in supplements as a fat burner, by the way. There is definitely a difference between the chemical composition of the seed oil and the pulp oil, because the pulp oil is around 50% saturated, and it also has MUFA, which also is a great hype these days, that it's so good for you and it's very amazing for you and so on and so forth. And the seed oil is 82% saturated, with also some of the MUFAs. And because the seed oil is more saturated, it is more creamy and that's the reason why it is used in most of the cosmetics. But the pulp oil is used in more food products. Now let's talk about how exactly it is processed. Most of the entire world's palm oil comes from Ethiopia, Thailand, Colombia, Malaysia and India. How the oil is taken out from this pulp and the seed is that first all the fruits are washed, sterilized, and then the threshing is done to remove the pulp from the seed. And then from the pulp, oil is taken out using petroleum solvents. Now, don't freak out. We are not talking about the car wala petrol here. You know that oil cannot be dissolved into water, right? That's the reason why whenever oil is extracted from anything, it is mixed with some solvents which have evaporation power more than this oil. So what will happen is that this pulp will be dissolved into that solvent, and then all the oil will come out in that solvent because it will get mixed into it. Then it will be dehydrated, and because this solvent will evaporate faster, all of the solvent will evaporate, and what will be left is the oil that you're looking for, in this case palm oil. This process is called solvent extraction. It is completely safe and you are not having anything harmful in this. Similarly with these seeds also, these seeds are crushed, made into a pulp or a powder, and then same solvent extraction is done on that as well. Now all of this sounds fine only, right? So why exactly everybody is after the life of palm oil? The reason is that while this entire process is happening, there are certain contaminants which are not even clear how they are exactly made, but there are 3 contaminants which are 2-monochloropropane 1,3-diol fatty acid esters, 3-monochloropropane 1,2-diol fatty acid esters, and glycidol fatty acid esters. And the problem is that these elements have been found out to be cancer causing, to be bad for fertility, and to be bad for overall health. For the last decade, there are multiple researches happening which are trying to find out an alternate way of processing so that these contaminants are not formed in the palm oil, but nothing concrete has come out yet. However, a good thing is that there have been the upper limit of consumption for these which have been established, and these limits have been set by the European Food Safety Authority and WHO as well, and these range between 2 to 4 microgram per kg of the body weight per day. Now you do not have to sit and calculate this for yourself, because I'll tell you exactly how you can manage that in the later part of the video. Another harmful effect of palm oil that has been discussed over and over again is the deforestation, and because of that the animal harm that we are doing as a result of creating palm oil in such big quantity. Now if palm oil, not directly but the contaminants of it are carcinogenic, causing cancer, causing infertility, causing so many medical issues, apart from that causing deforestation and animal abuse, why exactly our industry is using it? There are multiple reasons behind this. The number one reason is the production. The chemical composition required to make so many products for cosmetics and edibles, if we create the same amount of oil from animal sources, there will be many more lives going at stake. Every palm tree at any given point of time has around 2,000 fruits, which means one tree, the amount of space that it takes, it is going to create way more oil than any other source. In the last 30 years, the production of palm oil has gone 7 times. But do you know why we need to create that much palm oil? Because we are 8 and after that 9 zeros. Do you know how many people that is? That is a lot of people. Math won't math if we start counting that. So to feed that many stomachs, palm oil seemed to be the more reasonable form of oil production. Now let's talk about the second problem, which was deforestation. Now, as I said, we need to create that much oil to feed that many stomachs. And considering the population, this deforestation problem would anyway have been there regardless of whether it was palm oil or something else. Apart from this, as a result of such massive production of palm oil, there are so many people who are getting their wages out of it. There are so many people who are getting work because of this. You have a problem with so many animals dying? Stop procreating, because Earth is only this much big, and it can only accommodate these many lives. And if we keep procreating and multiplying, there will anyway be other species who will be suffering as a result of our too much population. Thoda zyada tough love ho gaya. It's okay. Let's talk about how we can minimize the negative effects of palm oil into our life. As I've already mentioned, palm oil comes with a lot of healthy benefits also, because of the beta carotene, because of vitamin E, because of all the other antioxidants. Apart from that, good fatty acids which are a part of palm oil that are similar to olive oil as well. However, there have been researches which also say that reheated palm oil and too much use of palm oil can cause too much saturated fats in our body and hence causing cardiovascular issues. But that's true for any other saturated fat as well. Here we need to understand that if we are consuming too much fat, it is anyway not going to be good for our body regardless of the oil that you're consuming. At the same time, there are people who are completely fit, have way more oils than us. How are they fit? Because their physical activity is way more than us who are lazy asses, who live in the cities and keep working on the system day in, day night. So yes, there are studies which say that palm oil is bad for the heart, but at the same time there are studies which say that it increases the good cholesterol in our body as well, which means that it is good for the heart. And if we talk about the processed foods which are using palm oil as an ingredient, we need to understand that it's not only the palm oil which is bad for us. There are also many other ingredients that are added in there in a lot of bulk for the taste, preservation, longer shelf life and convenience for us as users. So all in all, there are 3 conclusions that I want you to walk away from this video with. First, there is no one single ingredient which is going to be a make or break for your health. There are a gazillion other factors inside our lifestyles, the food that we eat, the kind of stress that we have, the kind of work that we do, which also contribute to the health that we have. Second, rather than thinking what to cut from your life and what to cut from your diet, you need to think about what all you can add to make it even more better quality. For example, rather than thinking about making processed food zero, think about consuming more fruits, more vegetables and more freshly home cooked meals. Not moles. I'm embarrassed now. Anyway, moving on. There are so many other things that we are doing bad for our body. For example, not sleeping on time. For example, having too much processed foods in the form of colas, sodas, biscuits, namkeens. We can reduce that. We can surely have an extra serving of vegetables every day. We can surely go for some kind of physical activity at least 3 to 4 times in a week. And third, fear mongering is not going to help. Yes, if you are a completely ideal person who does not have anything to do with their life, you can have home cooked meals 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year and all time every time. But if you are a very busy individual, if you have kids in your home, if you have a job as well, if you're working 2 jobs, if you're working night shifts, whatever those difficult situations may be, you might not be able to have only home cooked meals all the time. And that's the reason why you might have to rely on processed food which is coming out of a box. Because when you're hungry and you do not have time to cook, either you can stay hungry and then eventually die, or you can take something which is out of a dabba, because you can only thrive once you're surviving. And not all processed foods are bad. All you need to think about is reading the label in the right way. If you need some help with reading the labels, then you can watch this video next, because in this video I have explained exactly how to read a label, what all to look for. And for example, let's talk about palm oil. Whenever you're picking up a product, see that the palm oil is coming later in the ingredients rather than in the first 3 ingredients, because the ingredients are always listed in the descending order of their quantity inside the product, which means that the first product is always in the highest quantity. I hope you liked this video and you are going to watch this video next, and apart from that, you're going to return next week also to talk about the breakfast cereals which are coming out of a packet, whether they are good or bad, or if they are good, then which one are the good ones. I'll see you next time. Bye.